What if you didn't have any payments? What if there was no MasterCard? You hadn't discovered bondage or American distress. You weren't caught in a car fleece. You gave Sally Mae her eviction notice and kicked the old woman out into the street. Think about your budget right now. Think about your income. What if you had no car payment, no credit card payments, no student loan payment, no medical bills outstanding? What if you had no debt? What if you had no mortgage payment? All you had to buy was lights, water, and food, some insurance, and you could do some investing. How much would you give if you weren't broke? If you weren't working for everybody else? If you weren't working for Lexus Motor Credit, Toyota Motor Credit, Chrysler Motor Credit, Ford Motor Credit. How many motor credits do I have to give you before you get this? If you weren't working for Countrywide, if you weren't working for Visa and MasterCard and God help you, Bank of America, if you weren't working for Sally Mae, what if you worked for you? What if you had no payments? Would you work at the job you work at if you didn't have to pay payments? Would you take a different job? Would you tell them to take that job? And yeah, you would, wouldn't you? Next time the boss comes in being a jerk, you could just start walking out. Where are you going? I don't have any payments. You see, Proverbs 22:7 in the Bible says the borrower is slave to the lender. Now, Dave Ramsey, you're one of those crazy Christian people, aren't you? Yep, unabashedly so, darling. But it's not really crazy. It's just kind of common sense. The borrower is slave to the lender. You tell me, are you a slave or not? Slaves don't have choices. Other people tell them what to do. Their life is owned by someone else. I owe, so off to work I go, says the bumper sticker. Ha ha. Not funny. Spend your whole life giving money to people who have 50-story buildings in the skyline. Guess who paid for those? You. The borrower is slave to the lender. Have you ever thought that it might not be possible to be generous when you're a slave? When someone else controls you, how hard is it to be generous? What if you had no payments? Could you build wealth? The average car payment in America is $504 right now over 84 months. If you invest $504 in a decent growth stock mutual fund that has the rates of returns that my personal mutual funds have had in my personal 401k for the past 40 years, if you were to do that from age 30 to age 70, you'd have about $5.6 million in your Roth IRA. Just the car payment. That's what your car payment's costing you. $5.6 million. Hope you like the car. And they go down in value. Like a rock. That's where Chevy gets that. Like a rock. What would it be like to have no payments? Would you work where you work if you didn't have to make money to pay other people that you owe? The number of people who change careers or change jobs once they're free and make the most money they've ever made in their lives because they're able to change jobs and make the most money they've ever made in their lives after they get out of debt. It's almost a common occurrence among the debt-free screamers that while they're getting out of debt or post-debt freedom, they make different career choices because they no longer feel trapped. You know why you feel trapped when you got a bunch of payments? Because you're trapped. That's why you feel trapped. The borrower is slave to the lender. The only difference was this was voluntary slavery. You signed up for it. I signed up for it. We were told that this is how you live. The little man can't get ahead. It takes money to make money. You're never going to have anything nice, so you might as well have some decent payments. Get low payments because that's the only way a little man like people in our neighborhood, people like us, people of our ethnic background, the only way we get ahead is payments. Ever heard those sayings? Heard them my whole life. I've heard them from every ethnic background, by the way. I've heard them from Hispanics. I've heard them from African Americans. I've heard them from hillbillies and heard them from Cajuns, rednecks, Yankees, Dutchmen. I've heard it from every German background, although most Germans are pretty conservative financially. I've even heard it from Canadians. Go figure. You're not different. Stupid knows no bounds. Stupid will show up in any race, in any region, and it'll settle in and make itself normal. The borrower is slave to the lender. If you didn't have any payments, you could build wealth, couldn't you? How fast would you be a millionaire if you didn't have any payments? Put your house payment in a calculator as an investment instead of a payment. How fast would that turn into $1 million? I'll help you with that. 8 years. 8 years after you pay off your house, that one account will approximate $1 million with the average house payment in America today. This is ridiculous, people. Everybody else is getting rich, and you're helping them. You're working and working and working and working and working like a rat in a wheel, and you put yourself in the wheel. I did too. I've done so many stupid things with money, I can't even count them. I have a PhD in DUMB. What qualifies you to do this show, Dave? What degrees do you have? I've got something, honey, that you don't have. It's called experience. Been there, done that, got all the t-shirts. I got every Boy Scout badge of stupidity that there is. I know exactly what stupid looks like. I've done it up close and personal and called it smart. You ever done stupid and called it smart? But when stupid gets stress tested, it gets exposed as stupid, doesn't it? I mean, when the tide goes out, you can tell who was skinny dipping, can't you? Your great little plan to invest in real estate worked real good until 2008, didn't it, stupid? Your great little plan to do XYZ worked until it didn't work, didn't it, stupid? Your great little plan to go $250,000 in debt to get a degree in left-handed puppetry worked until it didn't work, didn't it, stupid? Hey, we've all done stupid, darling. The borrower is slave to the lender, voluntarily signing up to give our lives away. Well, this show's about breaking free. This show's about no more chains. This show is about you taking back control of your destiny. This show is about believing and showing you exactly how, step by step, process by process, you can get your most powerful wealth building tool back. It's called your income. And if you don't go get it back, it's going to be your fault, because I'm going to show you how. If you don't go get your income back, it's going to be your fault, because I'm going to inspire you and show you other people that did it. If you don't go get control of your life again by getting out of debt and using your income to build wealth, it's your fault starting today. I don't know how long you've been listening to this show, but it's time to listen to what is being said on this show. You spent too much of your life giving it away to other people. It's time. Aren't you sick and tired of being sick and tired? Well, it's time to do something about it. I've had it. When you say that, that's when you change. The borrower is slave to the lender. How much would you give if you weren't in debt? How much could you invest if you weren't in debt? How fast would you build wealth if you weren't in debt?